Hello, folks. I am Alan for today's news. I will be reading and speaking about world news, interesting news, news to keep you entertained, and news to keep you informed. It says here from Fox News, Biden washing machine rule will make America's dirtier and stinkier and raise prices, said the manufacturers. Last month, Biden Department of Energy proposed new efficiency standards for washing machines that require new appliances to use considerably less water, all in an effort to confront the global climate crisis. Leading industries corporations have voiced their opinion on the rule, claiming the mandates force manufacturers to reduce cleaning performance to ensure their machines comply. Each cycle will take longer, the detergent will cost more, and in the end, the clothes will be less clean, according to manufacturers like Whirlpool. The proposed washing machine change and the latest example of Biden administration pushing more consumers regulations to advance green alternatives. In February, the administration received heat from a leaked proposal which would have banned half of America's gas stove, in addition to another proposal to heavily regulate refrigerators. Okay, we're going to listen to this video right here.
Mr. Biden wants you to buy electric vehicles. He even gets behind the wheel of the biggest ones. Check this out. You really want to jump on the back? On the roof? You look good, President. This sucker is something else. This sucker's quick. Okay, I'm just going to step on it. I'll come off at 80 miles an hour. Let's see what it is, okay? You ready? But Rutrow, there's a roadblock. On Wednesday, the head of the NTSB warned the heavy ones are dangerous, saying, quote, I'm concerned about the increased risk of severe injury and death for all road users from heavier curb weights and increasing size, power, and performance of vehicles on our roads, including electric vehicles. Wow. Lisa, you were smart enough to move down south, right? And I'm sure you've never looked back. Did you ever consider California?
I absolutely did not.
Good. Because what they want to do there is they want to not sell anything but electric cars by the year 2035. So here's my question. You live in an apartment complex?
I do.
Okay.
Just don't give the address away.
No, that won't be happening. That would be doxing, I believe they call it. But in that apartment complex, let's say you had an electric vehicle. How are you charging that thing if there's like 3, 5, 1,000 people in the apartment complex? No one thinks these things through, right? Or if you're on the road and your car runs out of charge because you're in traffic, like you are probably around Miami or around Orlando or around San Francisco or Los Angeles, then you're going to create even more traffic. But most importantly, an electric car, the cheap ones are $60,000. How does the average person afford that? In other words, is any of this being thought through very well? Because it doesn't seem like, as you pointed out before, the reality on the ground that people are feeling and what the government is pushing are two very different realities.
You know what's still in my mind? I am surprised that they still let Joe Biden drive. I would think they would take the keys away at this point. But to your point, look, I will never get an electric vehicle because I look to China as the reason why I don't want one.
Also, it rains.
So China tracks their citizens through the electric vehicles, and they make the vehicle manufacturers turn over data points about the drivers as well as pinpointing their locations. It's part of their larger surveillance system, just like the COVID tracking system, which they use to disallow people to be able to leave their homes or even go to the grocery store. So I don't want to get an electric vehicle because I don't want to be tracked by the government. And I think that's the whole point, the whole reason why China's pushing its citizens to electric vehicles and why we're trying to do it here in the United States. And I believe that's the same reason.
It's all about government control. They want to know where you are every minute of the day, every second of the day. It says down here, like many efficiency standards, the government claims that although these standards will raise the cost of appliances, they are justified because they will reduce consumer spending on energy and water. And even more, of course, if that was true, consumers would likely buy more efficient appliances anyway, given the studies showing consumers consider energy and water costs. Anyway, you can read on with this. The link will be in my description box, Everything Biden does pisses me off. There's something else too. I had this one in my newscast before. 5 ways Biden's still coming for your gas stove. This is a new one. Let's listen to see what this says here.
Well, gas stoves and the battle over that, not going away. President Biden's Department of Energy just released new efficiency standards after a study linked indoor gas stoves to health problems. But Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is standing up to federal overreach and calling for an end to state taxes on gas stoves.
We just added, because I think it needs to be done, no tax permanently on gas stoves. They want your gas stove, and we're not going to let that happen. But it's just the principle of, this is ridiculous.
Joe Concha in Focus Now media and politics columnist for The Hill and a Fox News contributor. I think it's interesting that the White House first said, well, they're not really wading into this. They don't really. But this is Biden's Department of Energy.
Exactly. And this is Ron DeSantis' state of Florida. Shouldn't even be called the Sunshine State anymore. It should be called the pragmatic state, because we keep seeing time and again this governor making decisions that an overwhelming majority of people probably agree with. And this has bipartisan opposition now, Harris. Just this morning, Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat, West Virginia, Ted Cruz, Republican, Texas, introducing legislation to stop the Biden administration from going ahead with this, with Manchin declaring during his speech, saying, you're not coming for my gas stove. You're not getting my gas stove. So there are some Democrats in the non-woke portion of the party who are saying, you can't do this because it's not practical.
So why the gas stove? I mean, this is just something that really hurts small businesses in particular. Yeah. I mean, you're putting pressure on places that have just gotten back to work in the last year and a half.
Have through on this video here. You can watch the rest of it in my description box if you like. It says here, who knew Joe Biden hated gas stoves so much? Not only does he have multiple federal agencies targeting them, but he is also going after the natural gas supplies on which they depend. Like so much of the craziness coming out from Washington these days, the war on the blue flame is being done for the sake of fighting climate change. Here is the rundown. Consumer Product Safety Commission restrictions, CPSC. Commissioner Richard Trumka Jr. created quite a stir last month when he stated that the federal ban on new natural gas stoves was a real possibility. The public backlash was so strong that it turns out Americans don't like the idea of the feds forcing them to choose electric over gas cooking. See, this is government control again. The government wants to control you. They'll tell you when to eat, when to pee. It don't matter. It said that the Biden administration issued denials that any such crackdown was in the works. However, CPSC just announced that it was soliciting information on the safety of gas stoves, the first step towards restriction. Let's see what this one here says. Where's the video? Yeah, it is.
All right, well, the Biden administration is walking back talks of a possible nationwide ban on gas stoves after taking major heat this week. This topic hits home for my family because my brother-in-law, Brian, and his wife, Holly, run a stove and fireplace business and say that moving away from gas stoves could be deadly, especially while living in frigid states like Wisconsin. Holly and Brian Duffy, owners of Northwood Stove and Fireplace, join us now. Brian and Holly, welcome to Fox and Friends. So tell me, it's so good to see you. So,
okay, that's about over 4 minutes long. You can watch the rest of that in my description box if you like. I got another one to give it to you too. Let's see, right here. This one here is from Fox News. Legal immigrant who served in Iraq enraged after state allows driver's license for illegal immigrants. Somali American legal immigrant who serves and the Iraq war is speaking out against what she calls Minnesota's outrageous new policy allowing illegal immigrants to receive a driver's license. Now, back in the day when I got my driver's license, I had to show a birth certificate and stuff. You know, these illegals don't have that. I was trying to put senior on my driver's license because I am a senior, and they said I need a birth certificate to do that. Well, my birth certificate doesn't state me as a senior. If I did that, they would say, well, no, we can't accept that. It doesn't say a senior. Well, you're born. You're not a senior yet. You don't know if you're going to be a senior. All these stupid government rules, state regulations, they're all crap, you know. Let me play this one here.
Yes, now, Minnesota's Democrat governor signing a bill allowing illegal immigrants to get driver's licenses. Shukri Abdurrahman is a former congressional candidate who legally immigrated to the U.S. Took her 3 years to get her license. She joins me now. Great to have you on the program. What's your reaction to your governor signing this bill?
Absolutely outrageous. I mean, I can no longer recognize what country I'm in because I came here legally. I came here back then when our country had laws and rules. I waited in the forms of Kenya for 2 years to be vetted medically and criminally. And after we got here, I waited 5 years to prove myself that I was going to be someone worthy and who's worthy of a citizenship.
Right.
You know, I took the 5 years for all of it. It was 3 years waiting in the slums of Kenya and 5 years waiting in the United States to become a citizen. And not only that, what many people don't know is that I had to pay my plane ride to coming to America. I had to pay that after I became 18 years old. And any job that I held, I had to pay increment to pay towards my ticket. I didn't come here for free. I didn't get anything for free. Look.
You can watch the rest of this. The link will be in my description box. And, you know, I don't understand this country no more, you know. I may become anti-America because there's no America no more. We have makeup laws. Oh, pisses me off. Anyway, here's something from the AP. China says AUKUS on dangerous path with nuclear substitute. It's out of Beijing. The United States, Australia, and the United Kingdom are traveling further down the wrong dangerous path for their own geographical self-interest. China's foreign minister said Tuesday, responding to agreement under which Australia will purchase nuclear-powered attack submarine from the U.S. to modernize its fleet. Spokesperson Wang said the arrangement, given the acronym AUKUS for Australia, the United Kingdom, United States, arises from the typical Cold War mentality, which will only motivate an arms race, damage the international nuclear non-proliferation regime, and harm regional stability and peace. And you can read the rest of this in my description box. Okay, here's NBC News. Ron DeSantis says protecting Ukraine is not a vital U.S. interest. Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor and a Republican presidential candidate, broke with many in his party Monday and told Fox News host Tucker Carlson that protecting Ukraine is not a vital national interest for the United States. While the U.S. has many vital national interests, securing our borders, which they are not doing, addressing the crisis of readiness within our military, achieving energy security independence, and checking the economic, cultural, and military power of the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, becoming further entangled in a territorial dispute between Ukraine and Russia is not one of them, DeSantis wrote. Let's see. The Biden administration virtual blank check funding of the conflict for as long as it takes without any defined objectives or accountability distracts from our country's most depressing challenges. And you can read the rest of that in my description box here. Here's one from the Associated Press. California court rules for Uber, Lyft, and ride-sharing case. This is out of Sacramento, California. App-based ride-hailing and delivery companies like Uber and Lyft can continue to treat their California drivers as independent contractors. A state appeals court ruled Monday, allowing the tech giants to bypass other state laws requiring worker protection and benefits. And they are contractors, you know. I drove a taxi for 13 years. I was a private contractor, even though I drove for a company. I worked for a courier service, you know, and I drove a box truck for like another 8 years. And I was a private contractor. I didn't have health insurance and stuff. I had to pay my own taxes. So the ruling mostly upholds a voter-approved law called Proposition 22 that said drivers for companies like Uber and Lyft are independent contractors and are not entitled to benefits like paid sick leave and unemployment insurance. A lower cost ruling in 2021 has said Proposition 22 was illegal, but Monday's ruling reversed that decision. They are private contractors. Anyway, here's something from NBC News. She erased TikTok from venting about how her date declined to pay for $3 cheese, but the story was fake. Oh, the story was fake. Should you expect a date to pay $3 extra for cheese on their burger? The question has become a viral test for unrealistic dating expectation after a recent TikTok video sent the internet into a blooming frenzy over a story that wasn't even real. So there was a fake story. Anyway, it was about her boyfriend refused to pay $3 extra for cheese on his burger. Kind of funny, though. You can read it later. There's one here from the Associated Press. Class action suit filed against Silicon Valley bank parent. Class action lawsuit is being filed against the parent company of Silicon Valley Bank, its CEO and its chief financial officer, saying the company didn't disclose the risk that future interest rate increases would have been on this business. The lawsuit against SVB Financial Group CEO Greg Becker and CFO Daniel Beck was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California. It is looking for unspecified damages to be awarded to those who invested in SVB between June 16, 2021 and March 10, 2023. You can read the rest of that in my description box. And that's all I got for you right now. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and at least come back once in a while. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time. Later.